Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
I'm Brandon Walker.
I'm Kayce Smith.
We're Unnecessary Roughness.
We're unnecessary.
We talk college football.
We just got home from Ann Arbor.
We have a good time.
We're delirious.
She's drunk.
I am not.
Kinda.
No, I'm not.
Well, I was just doing it for the
okay.
cameras.
Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks to everybody who came out to the show today in Ann Arbor. We are delirious. It's about 1 a.m. Shout out Katie and Jack for staying late. Make sure you tell all your friends about YouTube.
Thank you, drunkie.
I'm not drunk. Enjoy the show.
Like the video.
Well, what a day.
Hi.
Hi. We had ourselves a day.
Have we?
Flew to Ann Arbor, Michigan. My first time in Ann Arbor. My first time seeing the big house.
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, we didn't go in.
Well.
Oh, sir. Are we about to be contentious?
No, I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying I've been to games at now. I've been to Madison for Wisconsin games.
Yes.
And I did my stadium walk. I did my pregame walk today about 2 o'clock.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did my walk today at 2 o'clock.
Right.
And it just didn't feel like nobody was around the stadium. It was very, I don't know. It didn't feel like a major college football game was happening at like 2 o'clock. And it just, I don't know.
See, I disagree.
Like the big house.
Can I please tell you something that you probably were not informed of because Dave didn't go with you?
The golf course?
No.
That's where all the tailgaters were?
Yes, but also, well, that's not what I was going to say. The side of the stadium where our show was on is actually way out of the way of tailgating.
I walked all the way around the stadium.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't know. It certainly.
Katie's first college football trip.
It didn't compare game day wise to like Madison or other places.
Really?
Whatever. It's not a big deal. It was a wonderful.
Let me say
wonderful
this.
time, and the crowd we had for the Barstool College Football Show was great.
I cried when I walked up on a stage.
Yeah.
Like I teared up, like to the point where Dave was like, "Get it together," because we haven't done it in 2 years. We haven't been back to Ann Arbor since 2018. But I honestly believed we would never have a live show again at some point. Like I knew we would, but like I didn't feel like we would.
Boy. Well, if you thought that was good, we got a bunch coming this year. We're gonna have
bunch.
We're gonna have one stretch where we got 3 in a row.
Also, by the way, not to brag or anything.
Yeah.
Katie's first PJ trip was on a G4 today.
Yeah. It's a good jet.
Like when I saw the itinerary, I was like, why is the manifest like 12 people? There's no way. We're not taking the Penn plane. This plane was double the size of the Penn plane. We had a flight attendant who kept my wine fresh as fuck.
You were drinking a lot of wine.
Don't you judge me. You were drinking out of my wine.
I never ordered a wine.
He didn't order one, but she kept asking him. She was like, can I just get you your own? And he was like, no. And he would just take it out of my hand and drink it.
Why am I not surprised at all?
All right. Y'all want to get to a podcast?
Let's get to a podcast. But can we say thank you to everybody who came out, even though you're trying to poo-poo on Ann Arbor?
I'm not trying to poo-poo on them. The people that came to the crowd or to our crowd were wonderful. Awesome.
And I will say having a 6 p.m. show really shows how many people had been drinking all day.
Oh, yeah.
The lights were on. No one was home for 3/4 of that crowd, and I loved it.
Let's do it. Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by Katie. Why don't you put that high noon in the middle of the table? High noon hard seltzer.
Peach.
Boom. There's the peach right there.
It's empty, Katie. Already drank it all.
Katie drank the shit out of that thing.
There's 2 limes over there.
It is real juice, real vodka for real people. It is a delicious, delicious seltzer. And we saw, I think we saw some high noons out in the wild today.
A lot of high noons out in the wild. I will say, did you see Chef Donnie house a high noon?
Housed it.
And the cameras weren't even on him.
That was what was
so weird.
He just did it.
He just did it. I was looking, so we were looking out. Whoever we were talking to in the crowd was to stage right. I look over out of the corner of my eye because Dave was making some weird face. Stage left. Donnie just throwing them back.
Yeah.
Chef Donnie.
He did the thing where you bite into it and just suck it out of the side of the can.
Yeah, it was like shotgunning.
That's what the kids call shotgunning.
Is that what that is?
Yes, Brandon.
I'm not sure that's shotgunning. Is that shotgunning?
Yes.
Wait. Did he bite it?
Biting it is the hardcore part of it, for sure.
That's not.
But then you shotgun it once you bite it open, yes.
But did he? Most people don't bite it.
Most
I don't
people
know how
use
I got it
keys.
open, but
regardless, a lot of
he
high
drank
noon
it from
in
the
wild.
side of the can.
Oh, okay.
That's
Then he
shotgunning.
shotgun it. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of high noon in the wild, I will say. There was a lot of high noon on our bus that has our faces on it.
Yeah.
Not just our faces. Let's say this. Our bodies.
Our whole bodies, yeah.
Our whole ass bodies.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about.
Quack.
Quack.
Some would say.
Make sure that we preface that we were already in Ann Arbor by about 12:30. We watched all the games. It wasn't like we were flying in the middle of the day.
What a lucky choice of venue on a day that Ohio State falls flat on its face.
Dave has a deal with the devil. You know that.
Before we get into the slate and everything, is there anybody want to give anybody any credit on this show?
Yeah, you haven't talked about how wrong you are about Sam Pittman yet.
I'm not wrong about Sam Pittman.
He did pick Arkansas today.
I did pick Arkansas to win the game as well.
Can I say? I'll go ahead and say this. I said it on the plane. I'm going to say it now. I think I've even said this, Jack. I think you've been with me for the last 4 years on this. If I bet on Texas, I get embarrassed. If I bet against Texas, I get embarrassed. And I've not learned my lesson. That was my moral lock today. I watched the Arkansas versus Rice game last week and the Texas ULL game. I was like, no chance. Arkansas humiliated Texas tonight.
We'll get to that. But Texas has made a living fooling people out of one game scenarios. They never follow up on it. This was easy to see. We'll talk about them later. But if there's any credit that needs to go around to anybody,
yes, credit to you.
What are you talking about, Arkansas?
If you're gonna give
you also picked Washington,
Oregon.
No.
Oregon.
Take people a little behind the scenes a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stand up. I forgot, and I really do want to apologize because it's been a very long day. People talk about the Michael Jordan flu game.
They do, still
a
to
lot,
this day. Yeah.
still to this day.
Oh, yeah.
I believe at one point in this podcast a few years ago, I had maybe a slight flu.
Right.
I got through it.
Yeah, you got through it.
Brandon Walker.
Yeah.
Thomas Brandon fucking Walker.
This guy right here.
Got the second dose
right here
of the vaccine yesterday
morning.
Which everyone who has had it knows it puts you on your ass.
Knocks you down.
In fact, I was curled up in a ball crying
Knocks you down.
for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Not only did you get it, not only did you get on a plane, albeit a private jet that was the size of my apartment, you thrived. We knew you were sick.
Yeah.
You laid down and took a nap in the RV for a little bit.
Couldn't get up.
Beautiful showmanship.
Set my alarm for 5:30. The show was at 6. Got up, stretched myself out.
You sure did. Our makeup artist was in there, and she's like, I don't want to wake him up. I was like, please don't wake him up. You would have never known that you looked, smelled, and felt like shit today.
Awful. Terrible. I'm
sorry. You're right. Credit to where credit's due.
So, hey, Brandon, why did you get the vax the day before you're going to Michigan?
To take your daughter.
Yesterday, my SmackDown was at MSG. My daughter loves wrestling, and the only way to get in there was to be fully vaxxed. So I got my second vax.
Well,
what?
You weren't fully vaxxed.
Well, technically he was, yeah.
I got it yesterday.
It's technically like 14 days, whatever.
His card said fully vaxxed.
Card says fully vaxxed.
You got in. You have natural immunity already.
Why do you have?
Because you already had it.
Hold on, no. Shut up. Why would you? Why would you even attempt to take a shot at me while I'm doing my duty here? I got the second vax. I did everything right.
Double vaxxed up.
Yeah. You aren't fully vaxxed yet.
Credit to you.
Okay, yeah, but my card says that I am. Okay.
Jack, honestly, I didn't want Jack to have a little bit of an attitude tonight, but I'm kind of happy he does to keep us alive, you know?
SmackDown was awesome, by the way.
I don't
This
care
is not
about
a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I don't care about
was
that.
Fantastic.
Well, as long as your daughter was happy.
I don't have a
but
wrestling
I will actually
I've got
say.
to show, I can't show you the fucking video because I left my phone in Michigan.
Yeah, his phone
And
is
my
in
charger.
Ann Arbor.
Huh?
And my charger.
That was your
on
fault.
the bus.
Whoa! I told you this would happen and come back and be my fault. That he
How
left
is
his
it
phone.
her fucking fault?
She's the one to put my phone on the charger.
How are you not attached to your
Brandon,
phone?
I'm going to
the
be
hip?
honest. Everyone is attached to their phone. We all know this, for better or worse. You leaving that place, and I understand. Jack, I will tell you this.
Wait a minute
Let
now.
me tell you something. We've been on a lot of these trips. I know we haven't been on trips in a
Never
couple of
seen
years.
anything like this.
I have never seen anything like this. Me, Dave, his girlfriend, Dan, and Brandon were getting like ushered to our car. It was like the fucking Beatles.
Yeah.
Like, it was so crazy that security was having to like pick up and remove people. The car couldn't get out. Everyone else still had their phone, though, I will say.
Yeah, well, I was outside schmoozing with people.
You were also taking care of me. You put me between you and Dan, and I was like holding on to Dan's waist, and you were right behind me. So I will say you were very chivalrous. However, no one leaves without their phone.
College football week 2.
Should we start from the beginning?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Are we going to Ohio State? Probably.
Yeah, we start. The biggest story of the week is Ohio State losing to Oregon. The biggest story of the week is Ohio State's defense just being gutter trash awful. The biggest story of the week is a national title contender goes down. This is, I would say this is the second national title contender to go down early in the season, but Clemson didn't get hurt by theirs. Like, no. Clemson's still fine. This is going to hurt Ohio State.
They're not still fine. They're a little injured per se, but they didn't
They can recover from theirs, and Ohio State can probably recover from theirs.
They got hit early in a round.
The problem isn't that Ohio State lost. It's that Ohio State has now put 2 games worth of pretty mediocre football on film, and I'm not sure they're as great as we think. Because at Minnesota, their defense was awful. They ended up winning by 14. Their defense was awful against Oregon. They ended up losing. Like, they might just not be a very good football team.
What's so upsetting if you're an Ohio State fan?
Like, they might be a top 15 team instead of a top 3 team.
Okay, so what I said going into the season when we talked about most disappointing teams, I said I think Ohio State will be the most disappointing team because they will not make the college football playoff. Not because they're a bad team, not because I don't think they're any good, because the caliber of team that Ohio State fans expected this year was back into the college football playoff, one of the top 4 teams, and I don't think they're going to be there. Now, we've obviously seen teams like Ohio State lose a game and still make it into the playoff. Did you see C.J. Stroud's final numbers?
Yeah, just like week 1,
his numbers were 484 yards.
His numbers were good in week 1. His numbers were good in week 2, but it's not enough. Like,
their defense is so bad.
Their defense is bad, and like his yards are kind of, I don't know, like they weren't coming when they needed to come, you know. So
he was 35 and 54, 484, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Excellent.
There was a point in the game where they could have. It really could have been over. Like, it couldn't have been like, oh, we threw an interception on a drive that really killed them. When I think it was 28-14, they could have really rolled over, and he didn't. So, I mean, I don't want to give him too much credit, but he did fight back and kind of kept Ohio State in the game.
Well, and they had 3 wide receivers with over 100 yards, too.
We got to stop because I believe we're doing a team a disservice. We're focusing too much on what we think of C.J. Stroud. We're focusing too much on what it means for Ohio State. We're focusing too much on Ohio State. We're not focusing on the Pac-12 team that walked in, the number 3 team in the country, walked in their house and beat their ass. Sure. And that's the Oregon Ducks. Now, Oregon Ducks were 14.5-point underdogs, and I will never know why they were 14.5. We treat Oregon like there's some Rudy Poo program that doesn't matter. They're the best program out west. They're one of the top 10, 12 programs in the country. And this really isn't out of character for them. And they go into the horseshoe. They go into Ohio there, and it wasn't a fluke. I mean, they were in control the whole day. And I got to shout out my guy, Joe Moorhead. That guy put on an offensive play calling clinic. Mm-hmm. He was fantastic. Everybody said, Oregon, yeah, but Anthony Brown sucks. He just walked in and beat Ohio State.
And he had half the numbers that C.J. Stroud did, but he didn't have to have all of those numbers.
C.J. Verdell runs for 2 miles. Kayvon Thibodeau watched the whole thing in street clothes. I've always wondered something.
What?
Why do we call them street clothes when they're on a football field?
Well, because they're not wearing football.
If you walked in this room, I wouldn't say, hey, nice street clothes. We only call them street clothes when it's got to do with an athlete. Well,
because if I walked in here in football pads, you'd be like, you're wearing football clothes.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
street clothes.
It's the opposite.
When did we come with the term street clothes?
Because it's the opposite. Okay, I have a question.
Normal clothes. Why not street clothes?
Because it's like he's just in his street clothes.
Okay, well,
Brandon,
normal clothes.
But you would wear those clothes to the mall. You would wear those clothes anywhere. You wouldn't just wear them on the street.
Yeah, but it's like streetwear. It's the same shit. If I walked into this podcast studio in a full football uniform, you'd be like, "Why are you wearing football clothes?"
Or even in like a dress. Why are you in club?
Why don't we just say, "Oh, he's in regular clothes"?
If I walked in stilettos and a tight dress, you'd be like, "Why are you in club clothes?"
Yeah. Like, are you going out? Like you would say,
right? He's wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
But again, I think why not just say regular clothes?
If you really wanted to say something, they're in athletic wear usually, and they usually have their jersey on as well. So
he did.
They don't really have street clothes on.
But they have like jeans and shit on.
Yeah, I mean now, athletic wear is so cool, like kind of cool that it's
so cool.
Now, this is the second week in a row out of 2 weeks that the Pac-12 probably, well, I should say that. Pac-12 has one of the best wins of the weekend. This weekend, the Pac-12 has the best win. Last weekend, they had one of them.
Against LSU. So the Pac-12, by the way, just looking out there, we dismiss them. We do all that, but UCLA's got life. USC's got life. Oregon's 2-0. Oregon's 2-0 with a win over Ohio State. They got to be a top 5 team this week.
Okay, I was about to ask, where do you think they're going to fall in the AP poll?
I mean, they got to be top 10. There are risers that
where were they today? 12?
12.
Yeah, 12. There are risers that you're going to have to deal with.
say
Like
8.
you got to figure out where you're going to. No, they'll be higher than that. You got to figure out where that you're going to put Oregon, who just beat number 3. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Iowa, who now has beaten 2 top 17 teams.
You also
Wrong. I'm saying you were wrong
What?
because you said Iowa State was going to win.
damn.
I was wrong. I will be wrong a lot.
Can I also point out that I think A&M should probably drop?
You not really necessary to point out. We all saw the game.
Now, Jack, help me out. Our King Haynes King going out early did not help. But
Sure, it didn't help, but
my
I mean,
God, that game was gross.
10-7.
That's like the Vanderbilt game last year, but worse.
10-7.
The defense is so fucking good.
I know. I mean, I don't know. The offense is a real issue.
A real issue, and
It's a
You guys
especially
have 2 great running backs. You should just be able to do that.
I understand that.
But also, we're giving a lot of credit to the Pac-12. It was a road game. I know they were
We're not
17
giving credit
points.
to Colorado.
But also, they really should have
Elevation.
won by 10 or so because that fumble at the 0-inch
yeah,
line.
true facts.
I don't know.
Brandon
if,
was asleep for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I slept through that one.
But he did fumble at the 0-yard line, and then.
Yeah.
But it was very gross for a long time though.
There's just no such thing as a 0-yard line.
Is that the end?
I think there's
Inside
the
the
one.
one. Inside the one.
That's
Fine.
0 point. That's the
No, the
half
goal
yard
line is where 0 would be. That's the goal line.
Okay, yeah. You
Whatever.
got what I was saying though.
He fumbled into the end zone.
I mean, it was literally at the
Inside.
0-yard
Yes.
line.
Inside the one.
He fumbled in.
busting
But
chops for
here's my question for you. Bigger picture. Because we're talking about the Pac-12. We talked about him last week. We did this podcast while the UCLA LSU game was going on. Clearly, we saw what happened this morning. Which, by the way, I know a lot of people hate the Fox big game or whatever it's called at
Right.
noon. I love it because it's not my teams that are going to be playing. It's not your teams that are going to be playing. It's an exciting thing that happened. Had that game not happened earlier today, there was nothing in that noon slate that was worth talking about.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good game. It was good to see because it was interesting. 35-28.
We're all on
it was
the
relatively
bus.
high
Ev is
scoring.
crying.
Yeah,
Dave
it was good stuff.
Dave, but here's my question with the Pac-12. All those schools that you just named, I know you're high on UCLA, USC, clearly Oregon. We go down the list. Are they where right now, post week 2? Where would you put them in rank of conference? And I know it's just week 2. I realize we'll see what happens.
It would be difficult not to at least entertain the thought that they're the second best conference.
That's what I would agree with you.
I mean, because Oregon just beat the team that's going to win the Big Ten going away. They just did. I'm
interested to see Ohio State.
They went
Penn
to
State,
Columbus and they beat Ohio State. UCLA beat LSU. I mean, they're stacking decent wins. The ACC has been garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The ACC last week had played the SEC and got outscored 80-30 or something. And this week they sent NC State to Starkville and got beat. The ACC's been garbage. The Big 12 is.
I mean, Oklahoma.
I mean, how do you even
rolled, but,
consider the Big 12 right now? Even when you say Oklahoma and Texas might be whatever they are. Iowa State just lost to Iowa. Texas just lost to Arkansas. The Big 12 had a shitty day.
Katie and I looked at this when we got back to the office. Do you know how many wins in conference Arkansas has had in the last 5 years?
It's single digits.
It's 9.
Yeah.
9.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but I'm saying
Chad Morris
But
went on
it-
what
but-
I
mean, they've been the worst program in the SEC.
we're
for a
talking
decade.
and now Oklahoma. I don't know what the final score was. When I looked at it, it was 69-0,
75.
75. Okay,
Maybe
fine.
76.
Oklahoma took care of it. So bad. But
But they
I mean,
played, like, such a
Texas, and
bad
again,
team.
and I hand up, I was wrong. I said it on the show as my mortal luck. I put in a parlay. I did the whole thing. I thought Texas was going to win today, so you can't call me a homer for being A&M when I thought they were going to put it, and I put my hard-earned money on it. You cannot talk shit about being better than any school in the SEC if you go out on a primetime game and lose to Arkansas by double fucking digits.
Oh, now we're just talking about that game already?
I just had to say it.
Well,
Let's go back to Ohio
let's
State.
go back.
Okay,
'cause
fine.
There's plenty to talk about with Texas and
I
Arkansas.
will. Chris Olave, and
Yeah.
I know they lost today, so obviously his Heisman contingency and all that, whatever is going to be hit. He's so good.
Yeah, he's good, but
He didn't even lead Ohio State. It was Jackson. Neither Garrett or Chris did.
Jackson and Jigba.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they had 3 wide receivers with
they
over
have
100 yards.
They have excellent
CJ
receivers.
Stroud almost had 500 yards. I mean, and I don't know if you saw, some Ohio State fans were mad at us because we said CJ Stroud didn't play very well in week 1. They're like, you said he isn't good. He's very clearly good. It's not Ohio State. I'm not saying he's great.
He's good enough.
He's good enough.
I mean,
it's Ohio State's defense.
They're the
It's a
ones that are
problem.
going to want to bench him. The Ohio State fans know that it's the second he doesn't play all that well, they're going to want to bench him, and they know that. But really, C.J. Stroud is not worth arguing about.
No, he's not the problem.
Because that defense, and this is what we're conditioned to know, that losing early is good for playoff contenders. Mm-hmm. But we are 8 quarters into the season. Ohio State has spent none of those quarters looking like a playoff contender.
None.
Their defense is garbage. They can't tackle. They're not physical. They're always out of position. Every time Oregon needed something today, they got it. Whether it was a crosser going across the middle with nobody around him, whether it's just a simple run to the left where nobody's out there. If they can't play defense, they're not a contender, period. You have to play – you either have to have a historic offense, which they have a really, really damn good one, or you got to play some defense a little bit, and they just don't do it.
And that's where, and I know all of us that are on the show, we give each other shit, whatever. But, when you watched Big Ev, who is our Ohio State guy, react to that game, it wasn't like he was putting on a show because we were all watching him. There was legitimate worry in his eyes at halftime. He was like, this is not the team that I thought that they were. And it obviously came to fruition. Now, Ohio State has been there before where they bounced back, but to lose to a non-conference team, which, by the way, and I think Dave said it on the show, we all talk shit about the Pac-12, which is probably unfair a lot of times, but for Ohio State, or as, in Michigan they say, Ohio, to lose to a Pac-12 team ranked number 3 in the country is a massive hit. It's not like they lost to Penn State.
I don't know. That's where I don't buy that.
I agree. No,
I don't buy that. Or because, again, you are lumping Oregon in and saying, oh, Pac-12, nobody respects them. Oregon's a good fucking Oregon's a really good program.
I understand, but for the last few years when it comes to the Pac-12, it's like they're an afterthought. And I'm not saying it's fair.
They shouldn't be, though. Oregon
I'm not
should
saying
not
it's fair,
be an
but they are.
afterthought.
But you know that they are.
Oregon should not be an afterthought.
Well, not anymore, for
Oregon
sure.
is barely, they're behind, but they're not many steps behind Ohio State over the last 10, 15 years.
Absolutely not. And when they won the Rose Bowl a few years ago, and it made
I said they're not many steps behind Ohio State.
They're 2 national championships behind them.
No,
Ohio State won in 2016.
2002 and 2014.
They ain't won in 2008. Okay, so they're what? 2 national.
They won in 2016.
Yeah, and then I.
No, they didn't.
Who won the first college football playoff?
Ohio State won in 2014 and 2002.
Oh,
what
14.
are we doing?
Okay, but still, I would say they're much farther behind.
I'm talking 14.
No,
That was the first
much
college
farther behind. Ohio State is it's the top 3 in the country, but Oregon's top 10, 12 in the country.
Yeah, but they are they have to go a long way.
I think what I said was very accurate. They're behind.
Yeah, but I was wrong. I messed up in my head for whatever reason. I thought they won in 2008, 2009. I was wrong. Because they lost to Florida in 2006.
Yeah,
now
41 to 14.
Now, if you extend that to 20 years, though, we're getting to the point where we're at 2 national championships for Ohio State.
Again, okay, fine.
3 national so I guess Oregon's been there twice.
Fine. There's no denying Ohio State's a better program than Oregon, but it is not far.
No,
and
agreed.
Oregon also has 2 national title appearances over the last 10 years.
I would say it's far, but we'll disagree.
Why would you say it's far?
Because 2 national championships is massive.
Huge. That's why they're a top 3 program in the country over the
last. Yeah, and I think the top 3 compared to, I know what you're saying, they're 7 spots behind.
I don't even know if they're that many, but sure.
Okay, let's just say 7, whatever, random number. But those 7 spots are higher than going from 30 to 23.
Well, this wasn't worth the
I will.
argument.
Can I say hand up, Delirious? I thought the first ever college football playoff in my head just now was 2016.
No, 2014.
2014, which is when they won. They won at Jerry World. I was there.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota's year.
It was the year
and
2015.
Ohio State beat Oregon.
Marcus Mariota, yeah.
Yeah, or they beat Oregon. But again, there's no shame in Ohio State losing. You say Ohio State lost to a Pac-12 team, they should be embarrassed. Well, they lost to Oregon, and Oregon.
I'm not
is
saying.
a good
I'm saying
program.
that is a perception is reality thing, though. I mean, I know we're pandering to Ann Arbor and we're pandering to Michigan fans, but I mean, when Dave said that, it wasn't like anybody on the panel stood up and oh wait,
Yeah,
Oregon's actually a good team.
Dave was performing when he said that.
Right, but he believes it.
I don't think he does. I don't think anybody. I mean,
he does too.
I think
no
he was
one gave a shit about the Pac-12 last year.
I think
It's Oregon. We're not. They didn't play the
I
entire
agree with
Pac-12.
you, but I'm saying.
What are we we're like talking in sound bites here? This is weird.
this is not your case. You're not gonna appreciate this, but I think if we're talking about embarrassing games, the Pac-12.
A&M.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
More than Ohio State.
Oh, I know that.
What? No. Ohio State lost as a 14.5 point favorite.
But
what are you guys talking
to
about?
a ranked team, though.
What are you talking about?
To a ranked
like
team.
14.5 point
I will say a win
favorite.
is a
Should
win.
never have been a 14
And then we
and a half.
just.
A&M.
Then why did you put your entire net worth on it?
I did put a lot of money on it.
Okay, your entire net worth?
No.
Okay,
Why
because
I would never put my entire net worth on anything.
because the line was accurate.
It wasn't accurate. Obviously, it wasn't accurate.
I think it was accurate for the projections at the time. It wasn't accurate.
It was wrong. It was wrong because people looked at people. We're getting to the exact heart of the argument, right? People disrespected Oregon when they shouldn't have.
I guess.
I
the
agree
whole
with that,
crux
and
of this.
I
we
will
can't
say
even compare losing at home as a 14.5 point favorite to beating a team.
But
In
10
Denver,
to 7.
You think it's more embarrassing Texas A&M's performance?
Yes,
but they
That's
won.
That's
They won.
crazy.
I do.
But they won.
I think Ohio State is a good game. Like obviously, I guess I wasn't paying
Wait,
attention
who are you
enough
saying was more embarrassing?
for Texas A&M.
You think Texas A&M was more embarrassing than Ohio State?
More not.
No, is that what you're saying? Because I 100% agree with it.
I think that Texas A&M needs to take a longer look at how their game played than Ohio State needs to look at how their game was played.
Oh no, I think Ohio State has a lot of issues.
I don't think that. I mean, again, I am not standing up for A&M whatsoever. It was disgusting. I was puking. It was terrible. But you walk away with a win. Mississippi State last week won by 1 point, and no one was saying like, "Oh my God, it was so much more embarrassing than teams that lost."
Yeah, everybody was saying it was
it was embarrassing, but you still won. You still won.
Everybody was
Ohio State was a third team in the country and lost. A&M was embarrassing. Do not get me wrong. Hear me loud and fucking clear.
I don't understand what these arguments are.
Jack,
You just said that Texas A&M
who won?
is more embarrassing
road.
than Ohio State.
Losing.
Texas
Or
A&M,
maybe you can
Texas
take it back.
A&M just played the 11th or 12th best program in
With
the
their
Pac-12.
backup quarterback,
and were
who-
lucky as hell to escape with a win.
That's not true. They were not
Ohio
lucky.
State, they won. They scored with 2 goddamn minutes left to
Yeah.
take the lead. They never led in that game till 2 minutes
Yeah,
left.
but they
were
also-
lucky as hell to escape.
I mean, how unlucky is it to fumble at literally the 1 inch line?
That's pretty unlucky. I would agree with that.
How unlucky is it to have your QB1 hurt in the first quarter and run a guy out there that can't throw a fucking ball to save his
We're
life?
really saying that what the A&M's performance wasn't? Because
I said it was embarrassing.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
happy
Ohio
with
State's
it.
performance was embarrassing. I think they got beat by a really good team.
I think that if you ask Ohio State fans, losing is more embarrassing than winning.
Insane.
Yes,
You're like
agreed.
licking the boot of Ohio State right now. You're like,
know.
oh, it's okay, guys.
I think we can say it across the board. In general, whoever's team, whatever sport, losing is more embarrassing than winning, unless it's to
What
fucking
in the
Alabama.
fuck is going on?
No, I
it's
think
not
this is
embarrassing.
very-
It's a worse performance. How about that? I think A&M had a worse performance than Ohio State.
But
Clearly.
They won.
They're
Not
both favored by
embarrassing.
14 to 17 points. One team won, one team lost.
The point differential is worse for one team than the
Yeah.
other.
True. If Ohio State doesn't
One
hypothetically,
played a top 15 team.
Yep, but both were 7.
One
Like,
played a bottom 30 team.
Colorado is not a bottom 30 team. You think they're a bottom 30 team?
I don't think so. But
Not-
like performance-wise,
Maybe
yes.
not in FBS, but Power 5?
Well, yeah, there's what, 65 teams?
Yeah, they're not
So,
top
okay,
35.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And
No,
again,
yeah,
and
fine,
I would
fine.
like it said loud and clear. I am not standing by what A&M did today.
I feel like you are.
No, I'm not. I'm standing by the fact that they're a top 5 team that won. And did it look pretty? Absolutely not. What did I say to you? I said, I'm worried about the Arkansas game now. Now, I'll change my mind when I
you're
wake
not.
up tomorrow. But I'm telling you that a win is a win. It can be the ugliest fucking win on the planet, just like last week. And no offense again, Brandon, but you won by 1 point, and it's a win was a win. Did you walk away saying like, oh, fuck, that was a really bad game? Yeah.
Yeah, I sure did.
Right. But what'd you say? We won. We won.
Said
Yeah,
it's
but
be-
also, I mean,
I said it's better to win
you're
than
a top 5 team. He's like
correct.
Right. No, I
Better
agree.
to
It
win
was-
than lose, sure, but
right. Well,
but
that's
still,
the,
that's pretty embarrassing.
that's the genesis of the argument here.
So you're not going to like topic number 2 at all.
While we're on Ohio State, Oregon, if hypothetically, if Ohio State does make the playoffs, does another Big Ten team do it, or do you think the Big Ten will miss it entirely?
So
Oh,
you
if
need- you need
Ohio,
to restate
yeah,
this.
if Ohio
Yeah.
State wins out in the Big Ten,
Do you think they'll still make it?
yes.
They could. It just depends on what
It
happens
depends on,
elsewhere.
Yeah, it depends on what happens in the SEC. It depends on what happens with Oklahoma.
Whenever somebody loses early, like Clemson, always say, "Oh, you think they'll still make it?" I mean, it just depends on everything else that happens.
True.
What week did Ohio State lose in 2016?
Week 2.
2014, and it was Virginia Tech, and it was.
They made it in 2016 too. They didn't win the national title, but they made it into the playoff over Penn State.
They did in 2016.
All right, fair enough.
They lost a game. They weren't in the conference title, and they made it in over Penn State.
But in 2014, they lost in week 2 and then won the title.
Right, right, correct. But I'm saying like you can clearly lose games, and that's like people
probably need Oregon to go 13-0 too.
People were talking shit when they're like, "Oh, no Ohio State team's ever lost one and made it." It's like, no, I get that, but like. First of all, I will say, and I know we were kind of manifesting it with the whole 2007 thing, like what this season's going to look like. Now I understand Alabama, what they did last week. Nobody even watched their game
The door
today.
is open for chaos.
It's incredible chaotic.
I love it.
Incredible chaos.
I mean, Clemson's already lost. So, I mean, 2 top 5 teams have lost in the first 2 weeks of the season. The door is open for chaos.
And a top 5 team today probably, again, and I will say, credit to me, came pretty fucking close to losing to Colorado. So...
Well, top 5
Notre
team
Dame
by rank only.
So, Brandon, I know you used to work out.
Wow. Okay. Jesus. All right.
Well, how's that going?
It's football season. I'm working.
Okay, but here, this is what I'm going to tell you.
So I just got the COVID vaccine.
I know.
Can't work
no,
out
listen
right.
here. Okay, I'm not worried about today. I know it's late. It's 1 a.m. We've been traveling all day, but I have some good news for you.
Yes.
In this office, probably about 200 yards away from you right now, we have this machine. No, it's not 200 yards.
200 feet.
No, I would say that's 20.
200
To
yards.
the gambling cave?
Yeah, that's a 20-yard pass.
200 yards.
Whoa.
How far do you think the gambling cave is from here?
Closer to 20 feet than 20.
I would say
20 feet.
I would say 30
200
yards.
The
Maybe.
door is like 50 feet.
No, to the Lite Boxer is a 20-yard pass to the.
Oh, bullshit.
It's absolutely. If the wall's
Okay,
right there, it's a 20-yard pass.
Less than.
All right, I can't
the
do
top.
math.
No, it's not even 20 yards.
Bullshit.
If you count how far it goes in the air.
All right.
Anyways,
200 yards.
200 yards
that
would
was
be 2
tough.
footballs.
I'll be honest. That was tough by me.
Yeah,
that was
tough.
tough. I think I meant 200 feet.
Okay.
I meant 200 feet.
All right.
So 200 yards divided by 3.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Anyways, there's a thing called the Lite Boxer.
So it'd still be about 70 yards, but go ahead.
There's a thing called the Lite Boxer.
Sure, yes.
And it is one of the best at-home workouts you can possibly have.
Yes.
Yes, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's that black machine.
Yeah.
It's got the boxing gloves and it
I don't
has
see color, but okay.
well, it is the color of the machine, and it has the different size gloves. I know you would probably use the big gloves because your hands are big.
Yeah, big,
and
meaty
it
guy.
has a personal trainer on the iPad, whatever music you could like. If you want to listen to NSYNC, you can. I listen to Lil Wayne. Best workout possible, and it's right here in the office.
I'm a grown man. I don't ride the streets of New York Saturday night listening to Bye 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 and yelling.
Lucky from Britney Spears. Did you not listen to that on the way home from Teterboro?
What?
Yeah, it was great. Anyway, so you should try out the Lite Boxer because I know that you do have a tendency to kind of get angry in the office sometimes. You can punch out your anger. It's also a great workout. It's fun. It's competitive. They've got Justin Bieber. They've got Post Malone. They've got everybody. And you don't really realize how hard you're working out until it's over. I'm always sweating. I do ads for Devlin all the time. I'm pouring sweat. But it also tracks your accuracy and power for each workout so you can keep getting better. You can compare results. You can try to beat your own records. And right now, Brandon, we're going to give the people money off.
Are we?
We are.
Do it.
We are. You want to guess the promo code?
Walker.
Liteboxer.com/Walker. That's LITE. Liteboxer.com/Walker. You get $200 off your purchase using the code Walker at checkout to get $200 off. I use the Liteboxer all the time. I'm going to make Brandon go do it. Not tonight because, go home and go to sleep.
Sure.
Next week, we'll start using the Liteboxer.
Let's do it.
Notre Dame top 10 team. Look
Yeah.
disgusting.
So here, let's go ahead to topic number 2. Frauds are getting exposed early this year. Indiana got exposed last week. LSU got exposed last week. I think it's pretty safe to say that Notre Dame is just not one of the 10 best teams in the country at this point. They barely
won,
beat Florida
but,
State,
right.
and they ended up coming back and beating Toledo. Ohio State.
That Florida State game was so good, though.
It was so good, but neither one of those teams is very good. And
Where
then
would you put Iowa State?
I have and Iowa State as well. We'll talk about them later. I have a period by Notre Dame as being a fraud. A period by Florida State as being a fraud based on how much hope we had for them in the first week.
What was the final of that game today?
I do have a Texas A&M
24-7.
question mark, though.
What was the final Florida State score?
I don't think that's even over yet.
24-7.
24-7.
I think that's what the score is right now.
Yeah.
To Jacksonville State because not everyone knows every single game that's going on like us.
Yeah, because we are recording on Saturday. Shout out to us.
So
A&M is fine. I'm not sitting here bragging about the fact that they only won by 3 points in Denver. I do think that there's a lot to be said that they lost Haynes King. Haynes King clearly looked not great last week.
Yeah,
but this fucking guy, I mean, again, no, I don't like talking bad about A&M players, but he has an arm. He has no accuracy. And the fact that they weren't running the ball with A-Chain and Spiller the entire time is crazy.
well, let's get to another team that got exposed today. I don't know. Actually, let's start with the good here. Let's start with Arkansas.
I thought you were gonna say Iowa.
We'll get to them. Because Arkansas has been a wreck for a decade.
Putrid.
Ever since Bobby Petrino was getting it on the side and got on a motorcycle and wrecked
Jessica
himself.
Durrell, shout out.
And
Jessica Durrell.
ever since that happened, they have been in the wilderness and garbage and terrible. You know, some of the worst SEC teams ever have been Arkansas teams over the recent years. Now they hired Sam Pittman, and to his credit, he is looking like he's turning it around up there. He looks like he's got it in the right direction. He made some great coordinator hires. Barry Odom, probably the best coordinator hire of the last couple of years. That's how good he's been. So Arkansas has been desperate, and I knew coming in, I felt like they'd win the game because desperation moves the needle in college football.
You're right.
Their fans wanted it so bad, and they needed a win over a ranked team. They needed a win that mattered. They needed a win in prime time. They needed something they haven't had in a decade, which was an important win in the program. They had a chance, and it just happened to be Texas, a team that they have hated for generations. They hate Texas.
Southwest
It was a
Conference,
perfect
baby.
opportunity for them, and they went out and just smoked them. So Sam Pittman, well done. Fantastic stuff there.
You think he'll
Unblock
unblock
Brandon.
you?
Huh?
Do you think he'll unblock you for that?
Probably not.
Probably
No.
not. Did you hear the crowd react today when I said why you had him blocked, or why he had you blocked?
Oh, yeah.
They loved that. They
Yeah.
giggled. There were a couple
Well,
belly
'cause-
giggles.
Yeah, because I kept calling him fat.
I will say this, and credit to Arkansas. I don't know if this is more of an indictment on ULL, but boy, I mean, after the way that ULL played last year against Iowa,
Oh no. Hot
why
take.
is he mad?
You fall too in love with what happens in week one. Don't worry about ULL. ULL's done. ULL is not an indictment on ULL. They got beat by.
No,
by,
but
they got beat
I-
last week. ULL doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying going into the Texas-Arkansas game today, it did matter to me.
No, because Texas
because
came out
Rice
last
looked
week.
like garbage.
Texas came out last week, had a good win, and it was.
What was
good
the
for
Rice
them.
final, Katie?
Rice.
Today?
I'll go look.
See, week one, I don't care what Rice final was.
No.
Arkansas played poorly in week one. Texas played really well in week one.
Yes.
But week one, did they come to week two?
But I'm saying before I made my week 2 picks, I do take week 1 into consideration.
You got to start. You got to get away from that.
What do I take into
You gotta
consideration?
learn- I don't know. You got to figure out. It's hard for me to figure out. We have to figure out a way to decide what week one results matter and what week one results don't. Because some just lie to you. Some week one results lie to you.
You have to look at it, but you can take it with a grain of salt.
I didn't know
You
Rice
can't
got beat that bad today.
Toss it out.
That's bad.
Houston won 44-7 over Rice.
Anyway, good for Arkansas.
Credit to Arkansas.
I don't
Definitely.
know.
Did you see that they
See the yardage
Storm the
difference?
field.
and tore down the
Good for them.
goalpost?
I say good for them.
Arkansas had 471 yards. Texas had 256.
I mean, listen, they haven't had a good win in a decade. They deserve to tear down the goalpost. Good for
Hudson
them.
Card had 61 passing yards.
But the story here is about Texas because
61?
Jack said it when I came in, and he's right. When Texas gets beat like this, they just get bullied. They
Yeah.
get pushed around. They get dominated physically. Arkansas is not a good football team. They're an average football team. And they just beat the shit out of Texas because Texas is soft and has been soft for a long, long time. And it's up to Steve Sarkisian to make them not soft anymore. And last week was a good step. But for the last decade, Texas has always been able to take one game and look pretty good. And you say, oh, they're back. They never string it together. They never follow it up. And if they're going to join this league and this conference, and they're going to do it with a team that just gets absolutely manhandled up front by Arkansas, they are capital F-U-C-T fucked.
I'm going to just let you say it.
That's what it spells, F-U-C-T.
Yeah, fucked. You got to say it with an emphasis on the
Fucked.
T. Say it.
Oh, wow. Florida State's only up 3 right now to Jacksonville State.
Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
that
struggled
whole
with
Notre
them.
Dame Florida State game was incredible in the moment. Two bad football teams.
It was a fun football
Remember
game.
when
It
I
doesn't
said
mean
that Jack Cohn, you said the Jack Cohn owed Jack Cohn an apology, and
Yeah.
I said let's wait to see if
Well,
they're actually good or
he
not.
didn't play that bad today.
Oh no, good,
mean,
yes,
it's
but
Jacksonville
I was
State.
right. We don't know how
Just
bad or good
complete
they are.
side note.
What do you?
David Blattman just asked where you are, which means your phone's on its way.
I got it.
Is he
I'll
here?
text him. I got it.
He literally just texted me. He said he'll be here in 30 minutes.
Context:
Tell him-
Brandon left his phone.
Tell him I'm in pod room 1,
Ann
and I'm
Arbor.
going to give him a
Told him.
big hug when he gets here,
He
and I'll
is
give him whatever
in
money he wants.
pod
And Brandon also left my
room
lightning charger in Ann Arbor.
I bet he has
He
that too.
will give
I hope
you
so.
a mouth hug.
I mean, Jack Cohn, 21 for 33, 2
Yeah,
touchdowns.
Jack
I mean,
Cohn's
he
good.
didn't play that bad.
Jack Cohn's good.
I do feel like the Notre Dame Florida State game, because of the way it was played out, and it was the only game on, and overtime, all that, incredible. Neither one of those teams are good. No, they're not. I'm not. I
mean,
see.
No,
Can
they could be bad.
Can we define something here? When we say they're not good, that doesn't mean they're garbage.
I don't think Notre Dame's one of the top 10 teams in the country.
Okay, fair.
I don't think they've been one of the top 10 teams in the country the last 2 weeks.
Fair.
I mean, defensively, they gave up a ton to
Now they
Florida
might
State.
have-
They gave up 29 today to Toledo.
Now I know it's early, and I know we're not supposed to look it up, but that game could be a top 10 game of the season. That doesn't mean the teams are top 10 teams.
Oh, if there's 10 games at best that Florida State Notre Dame game, we've had one of the greatest seasons in college football history.
Chaos.
This is Texas football. You win a game, you peacock, you're back, you do all this, and you go out and get shit pumped by Arkansas. You just get destroyed by a more physical team. I don't know. I mean, this is one step forward, 2 steps back for Texas. It's just what they are.
I'm going to tell you this.
They're a soft football program.
Not one single dime that I have is going on Texas for the rest of the year, or against them. It's not even for. I can't. I don't. I've been saying this for years. I cannot bet on Texas, but I credit to Arkansas. I will say credit to Arkansas. They played a really good football game tonight. We'll see what happens. I know it's midnight. I'm not truly thrilled about the A&M Arkansas game at this point.
Well, you shouldn't be, but I think you guys will be all right.
I think so, and I think when I wake up tomorrow and I've had some sleep and everything's fine, but at this, like we just said, A&M embarrassing today. Arkansas killed Texas. I'm not sitting here just. I mean,
Here's your
we're going
thing.
to talk about A&M Alabama. Boy, we got to play Arkansas first.
Here's your thing about A&M. You won't beat Alabama. You'll probably get embarrassed against Alabama. Fine, whatever. That happens to a lot of teams. I don't think teams like Arkansas are equipped to really beat you because they beat up Texas physically.
They can't. Okay.
They can't beat Texas A&M physically, and Texas A&M's defense is still going to keep everybody you play to 7-10 points. You're going to be fine. Texas A&M's defense is top 5 in the country. It's elite.
I do agree with that. The Wrecking Crew 2.0. But I mean, what was Alabama's final score today?
40, it wasn't much.
No one's
48-14. They didn't cover.
Yeah, but nobody's even talking about
But
Alabama.
it doesn't matter because
54-point cover.
What? 48-14.
No, I'm saying they had to cover 54 points.
What
That's
was
all.
Georgia's final score?
Oh, they beat the shit
out of them.
Yeah.
Like they covered,
Bennett
right?
was back.
56-14.
Yeah, they covered, right? Yeah.
56-7. Excuse me.
Stetson Bennett, his first
Back
half,
from the dead.
5
It's-
for 5, 260 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's probably the best half of football, or most efficient half of football for a SEC quarterback.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh
Crazy.
no, but the Bo Nix crowd
Oh
is going to be
my
insane.
God! Have you been seeing this on Twitter?
I don't
well-
I don't see it that much.
So they're winning.
Katie talks about it too.
I saw it
Auburn
once
has played
today.
two
I
bad
think
teams.
Auburn fans do know that they're playing shitty teams.
There's a graph that went around. It was from some stat guy that had all the quarterbacks and it had accuracy or whatever, and had Bo Nix at the very tippy top of it.
Well, let's hold on.
And
Let's
people,
just
lost
let's
it.
indulge them for a second.
Oh.
Let's indulge them for a second because they played 2 shit teams, and they won easily as they
So the
should.
worst
62-0.
FBS team, or one of the worst, and one of the worst FCS teams.
As they should. They handled them the way they should.
Yeah.
But let's pretend we go through the rest of the season and
Looking at their
Bo
stuff
Nix
right
is good and ends up being like the first or second team All SEC quarterback. Well, Bryce Young will be first.
Yeah, Bryce
let's
Young
say
will
let's
definitely
say
be first.
let's say Bo Nix is second team SEC quarterback.
we'll love it.
It's just a huge indictment of Gus Malzahn, right? And if Brian Harsin comes in there and Bo Nix is like a better than average quarterback,
Do you know who they play next week?
Looking right now.
who Auburn? Penn
Penn
State.
State.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
That.
Brandon, I'll just
We
push
should have
back
gone
a
to
little
that
bit.
fucking
I mean,
game.
quarterbacks do progress.
They do. That's fair. Yeah.
I know we
Like,
don't.
let's just say Coach O was fired. right before Joe. I mean, it's different because Coach O's not like an offensive-minded head coach and whatnot. But quarterbacks do progress. But I know what you're saying. But Dylan Gabriel hasn't looked bad so far.
There is a an element to us all judging Bo Nix way too soon because we took the first. Like his career is barely half over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he started as a freshman.
But you know why,
and
though?
he has 2 years left.
But you know why? It was because when they played Oregon last year, and it was on
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years. That's what I meant. 2 years ago, and it was like the legend of Bo Nix. That's why we judge him too hard, I think, because he was again one of those nationally.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's he came in with a bunch of hype.
And it was the nationally televised game. It was the only game on at the time. He played well enough to win that game. It was a ranked versus ranked team. I think that's why. It was like he was almost like a detriment because of his own hype on a nationally televised game to start the season.
Now, when you talk about hype that probably wasn't deserved.
Another lovely Barstool College football show in the books on the road today.
Shout out to the new sponsor.
FTX, formerly Blockfolio. And, it's 2021. Things have gotten new. They've gotten weird.
If you
evolving.
If you haven't figured out crypto, you're behind
If
the
you're
game.
not getting crypto, what the fuck are you doing?
You are behind the game.
You are behind. So right now, FTX, they're investing for the crypto generation. We're jumping into that generation.
Yep.
Yeah, what are you, like, baby boomer?
Why do we do this? No, I'm Generation X.
You are?
Yeah.
You're not a millennial?
No, I'm Generation X.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, this is the crypto. Oh, bless you.
Oh, God. In your
This is the crypto generation. FTX is the world's most popular mobile app for cryptocurrency tracking and trading. And right now you can build out your portfolio and follow the prices for more than 10,000 coins, Brandon.
It's a lot of coins.
It's a lot of coins. You can buy and sell Bitcoin, Dogecoin with absolutely zero fees and get a free coin with every trade over $10. Visit the App Store right now and download FTX for free today. Oh, no.
I have talked often about the losses that hurt the most.
Yes.
And I believe the loss that hurts the most in college football is the one that I'm deeply familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
It's when you come from a program that's a have-not and you get to your year. You get to your moment. You've never been on top of the hill, but you are now right there. The left foot's on top of the hill and the right foot's coming right behind it. You're almost there. But every time you get there, you slip.
Is this Iowa State?
Every time you get there, you fall. Every time you have a chance to grab the brass ring and level up, you fail. Iowa State has built a really good program there under Matt Campbell, but they keep failing to level up. They keep failing to get there. And this loss, when you realize that the year you've built up in your mind, this is our year, and when you realize, no, it's still not. You're not good enough. When you realize that, it stinks. But when you realize that because of your arch rival, it's like the worst loss you can have with a multiplier of 10.
Especially when your quarterback was being talked about for the last couple of years as a Heisman dark horse.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock Purdy looked like shit today.
I was looking at the numbers.
He got
benched.
Let's not say shit. He was so shit that he got benched.
He got benched.
He wasn't hurt.
I mean, it's just not going to happen for Iowa State.
Then
it's just not going to happen.
Another
Brees Hall
dark horse. Yeah. Brees Hall.
69 yards.
He was awful last week.
Did you see his fumble?
Yes.
No.
I saw it on Twitter.
I was napping.
His fumble.
Well, Brandon was.
He just. It was
your
brutal.
flu game.
It was brutal.
It's your flu game. Don't downplay
it. Iowa State had 339 yards. Iowa had 173. Iowa State was out.
That's the trick here. Iowa has 2 good wins. I think they forced 4 turnovers both weeks, 3 interceptions,
4 non-offensive touchdowns.
But you have to respect them because they beat the shit out of Indiana. Then they go on the road and they beat Iowa State.
Well, this defense is good.
This defense is very good. But their offense is still garbage. Like, there's a ceiling on them, but there's also a very high floor. Like,
I agree with that.
They deserve to be between 6 and 10, I believe.
All right, so
and
I'm gonna say they're gonna be at what? You'd probably put them at
Kent State,
7.
They could win the
Colorado
West.
State, Maryland, which will be a tricky game.
Hypothetically, wouldn't you put them at about 7 right now?
Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah, I would.
I mean,
you got to move. You got to move Oregon up.
I think you move A&M down.
Yeah.
Ohio State down.
I think
Ohio
you're moving
State,
Oregon in the
obviously.
top 5, and then you're probably moving Oregon to maybe 4 ahead of Clemson, maybe 5, and then A&M could probably lose a spot.
Well,
From 12 to
Clemson
4?
should stay ahead of A&M because Clemson has a better
from
loss.
12 to 4. Certainly when
It's
you beat
doable?
3. When you beat 3.
Fair.
When I use this, it's just a personal example to me. Mississippi State went from unranked to number 1 in 4 weeks in 2014.
But still 4 weeks, though.
Yeah, but 4 weeks. But that's from unranked to number 1.
Because you also have to look
They
at
went
who's
from-
lost in front of
They
them.
went from
Fair.
unranked to 15, from 15 to 6, from 6 to 3, from 3 to 1.
Because you have to. Even though they're undefeated and A&M's undefeated, they have better wins. Clemson has a better loss than A&M. I don't think it would be crazy for them to be number 4 in the country.
Who, Oregon?
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if they weren't number 4 in the country. At least number 4.
Well, why? Yeah, look at the Clemson Georgia game. Why I feel like Ohio State fans are more like throwing their hands up than Clemson fans are.
Because Clemson lost to a better team.
That we know of right now.
Yeah,
Correct.
you're right.
Correct.
I'm just looking at the comparison. It's
Just from the numbers, which
Looks like
ranked.
Georgia's pretty good.
Yeah.
yes, but
Clemson
it's
also lost.
still a ranked matchup loss.
You know what? Here's
Top
here's
I
five
hate
matchup.
how much you guys care about rankings. It's so dumb.
What
Who
the
says
fuck?
we cared
it's a
about the
popular.
ranking?
Just
Whatever.
ranking this,
Anyway,
ranking that.
I don't have time. Okay, here's why
Dusty.
Clemson fans are taking it better than Ohio State fans. Because Clemson fans, I don't know if they expected it, but they knew it could happen. They knew it could happen.
lost Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Ohio State fans would not admit that what happened today could happen. Just wouldn't do
Fair.
it.
When
They
I-
watched their defense
right.
suck at Minnesota, and they still today couldn't happen.
When I said that I didn't think Ohio State was going to make the playoff, I said they could end up 5th in the country. Ohio State fans verbally attacked me on Twitter forever. They're like, how dare you? I'm like, I'm being 5th in the country is not so bad.
Yeah.
That's what they expected. Now, I will say I do think Clemson fans, if they lost to a 12th ranked team versus a 5th ranked team, it might have been different. But Georgia Clemson, it's a top 5 matchup in week 1. It is a little bit different.
Well, he's right in the sense that these teams have these numbers attached to them, but they don't mean anything right now. They really don't.
Yeah.
But like Oregon, if Oregon goes to 4, Oregon will have earned the trip to 4. You know, like
Yeah.
Texas A&M at 6 have not earned that 6 by their name yet.
No, I agree.
We
not gonna
think
argue
they
with that.
deserve it, but
No, I
but
don't.
The first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, or the first month of the season is about teams. We sort them to where they earn to be, right? Like we have seen that Notre Dame, who was given 7 coming the season, should not be 7.
UNC at number 10.
Damn.
Like no.
I would say they're like probably the 10th best team.
Again, I agree because they lose to Virginia Tech on the road and people just throw them out with the bathwater. They're going to be fine.
They're top
They're the
15,
second
yeah.
best team in the ACC. I
top-
promise you.
Yeah.
Miami's just okay.
I need to see more of Miami before I agree with that.
That's a fair
What about
thing,
their
though.
2-point win at home against App State today? I know App State's
Alabama
not a.
hangover.
I don't hate Katie's take
Yeah,
just
but I
because it's
think
her
App
team.
State's like a top 40, top 30 team.
Yeah, no, App State's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
App
yeah,
State's
yeah.
good, but
Yes.
yeah, okay.
South Carolina almost
So
lost.
The mood in
lost
here
to
is
UCLA.
argumentative today. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think
you
it's
know
good.
what?
It's a
It's a good
productive.
thing. Well, it's good.
They're
This
valid
is why
points.
I said this last week when we were in the gambling cave. Now we weren't as argumentative, but that's why doing this podcast after the games is so much better because none of us have time to cool down.
Yeah.
We've just been living and breathing college football today.
Oh yeah. We've been all over the world.
All over the world. By the way, this hoodie, if you're watching the YouTube, this Carhartt Barstool hoodie is so sick.
Is it
It is.
cool?
Jack, isn't it?
Carhartt's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
no, that's I didn't even know it was Barstool. That's how cool it is.
I do not want to even kind of minimize Iowa's win because they went on the road and won a rivalry game and an outstanding win. They deserve to be propped up. I don't know how much lasting. I don't know how long it can last for them, but they also play in the Big Ten West. Like they got a road game against Wisconsin. That is a very gettable team at home. Just
And
knowing
Graham Mertz.
their schedule off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure they miss Ohio State from
They
the.
have to play Penn State
East.
at home on October 9th.
Yeah, they get Penn State at home. Like Iowa you could look up at the end of November. Iowa's 12-0, 11-1,
And they don't play Wisconsin until the end of October.
and they've averaged like 180 yards of offense the whole time because their defense just chokes you out and just forces you to make mistakes.
Well, I'm not sure. Like Penn State. Well, again, those two teams that they're playing against, it's not like, I mean, we've seen great offenses beat great defenses for a very long time. That may change this year. I know you talked about that a little bit as a narrative for the season, which does look like could become true. However, those two teams that they could potentially lose to, Penn State and Wisconsin, I mean, those offenses aren't very good. So, like, you're trying to beat Iowa at a game that they're the best at so far this year in terms of Big Ten football, not in the entire nation.
Iowa-Wisconsin will be the grossest football game of the season.
Under.
It will be amazing.
Right now.
Whatever the under is.
It could be 3-0.
The moment the line opens, go look at it.
It'll just be
So
because
Wisconsin has a week off next week. And then they don't play until Notre Dame, which...
Okay.
well, that's the week after. I don't know if we can say that yet.
Okay. Never mind.
I don't know if we can announce it. We'll be there. No, we're
Happy-
not going to announce it.
We're not going to say.
announce.
Okay.
I literally
Tennessee.
have no idea.
Okay.
No. Katie, do you think we can announce that we're going to be at Wisconsin Notre Dame?
Like at Soldier Field, do you think we can say we're going to be there?
I thought we were going to announce we're going to be at Tennessee that week.
No, that's a
No,
different
that's
week.
now we're making too many announcements. Now we're just spoiling.
Oh, shout out the Roughnecks that came and saw us today. That'll be
Michael
at,
Salter, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be at
The
A&M
shot
Mississippi
he
State.
gave me, my entire body shook.
What kind of shot was
It
it?
was awesome. It was apple something. I liked it, but it was like a lot. I really want it again. Like my body went numb.
Did you see the stadium cat at Miami?
Yes, I don't understand where these
Oh
cats
no, Jacksonville
live.
State.
Stadiums.
Wait, what happened?
What? I'm looking.
No, but where do they live? Like
Stadiums.
I know, but like okay. So when the
Oh
state
my God! They scored on the last play of the game.
Shut
and beat
the fuck
Florida
up.
State.
Shut the fuck up. I'm looking. Come on.
See, this is why we do it. We do it live because this is happening right now.
Oh my God.
Florida State lost.
20-17.
Oh
Man,
no,
oh,
Will
man.
and
Vel.
Man, oh man.
Oh
they
my!
have
Are
that.
they crying?
No.
Or is that guy hurt?
Oh yeah, he's hurt.
They have
They're
that-
crying. They dumped the Gatorade.
They have that huge. By the way, Jacksonville State. Is that who you said beat them?
Will you answer
Jacksonville
this?
State.
Will you answer this and tell
Is
her I'm
that this-
working?
The non-Dion
Answer this.
one.
It's just one of my friends and say we're working. Say we're working.
Hey. How you doing?
Say we're working.
We're- no. We're working. She's doing a podcast right now. She can't talk. No, she can't. Shut up.
Making the money.
Hi, I'll call you guys when I'm done.
Oh my God! The Hail Marys was crazy.
Wow.
It was a
oh wait,
60-yard
Wait, look at this.
touchdown.
Look
We
at
have
this.
a
Look at this.
60-yard Hail Mary.
Oh my
Here it is.
God.
Here it is.
Here.
Wow.
Wait, it wasn't even a Hail Mary?
No,
No.
it was a Hail Mary and some
shit.
run.
Oh, poor.
Wow. Oh no.
Damn.
Now,
Like
is-
they're literally
Jackson
calling me back
State
as if
doesn't
they don't-
by the
respect
way,
Bobby
is
Bowden.
this Jacksonville State, I believe the same team that just got absolutely manhandled and shut out by UAB to open the season last week?
Yes. And Jacksonville State almost beat Florida State last year. If you
Chaos,
And they
baby.
just did.
I love it. You don't get this in the NFL.
No, you
Chaos.
don't. I mean, what a fucking merry-go-round of emotions for Florida State, because last week you really thought the corner God almighty, the corner was being turned. You
Yes.
thought, okay, they've gone
They
through
look
the
good.
desert and the light is at the end of the tunnel. They didn't beat Notre Dame, but by God, they gave them everything they had, and then they come out and they lose to a bad Jacksonville State.
That's
That's
insane.
shocking. Again, Katie, you're right.
There's a clip.
What's
What?
Katie
You're not
right
getting the
about?
What am I
shit-
right about?
You're not getting the shit in the NFL.
No,
No.
of course not.
Oh, another viral clip while we're
Brandon.
talking about viral clips. I guess we probably should have known that Ohio State was going to lose when that, I don't even know what they call the head of the band.
leader,
Yeah.
falling,
he slipped,
but credit to him. He got right up.
Drum major, maybe?
drum. Yeah.
But he's like the head of the band.
No. What's
Is it-
I
thought that's what a drum major was.
Conductor.
No, he's
No,
not
the
the
conductor
conductor.
is
He's like
the
a
people that do
student.
this.
Conductor's like
The drum major.
I
is,
don't. It probably has a special name for Ohio State.
The
'cause
big nerd.
It may be drum
He,
major.
he fell down.
Yeah, he fell down.
Okay, back to the
Him fell
cats.
down.
Can we go back to the cats?
Yeah, we can always do
So I understand where they live when the stadium is empty. They can live wherever the fuck they want.
Right.
Where do you think that they go when there's 100,000 people?
Just in the
it?
inner crevices of the stadium, and they find their spots. Cats are wonderful animals.
No, they're not. They're terrifying.
Cats are
and,
the best. I
Excuse
love
me,
cats.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Whenever you had children, because you've had 4,
right.
you had to potty train them, correct?
Sure.
Like humans are dumb enough to where you have to potty train them.
Correct.
To
You
go to
got
the
to
bathroom.
teach them what to do. Yeah.
Cats,
Yeah.
you don't have to potty train them.
No, they know what to do. Cats are smart. Cats are
Don't
genius.
trust a fucking animal that doesn't know.
Cats are so underrated.
Yeah, they
Cats
want to
are
fucking
so
Jack. They
underrated.
want to
Cats
fucking
are
kill you. See,
incredible.
Jack's right. They look at you like they
I
want to
love
kill you.
cats.
They just wave their
love
fucking
cats.
tails.
And even a domesticated house cat is a killing machine.
We get it.
Yes.
You
like
let him out in the
pussy.
yard.
Oh,
you let him out in the
you didn't hear
yard.
what she said.
You let him out in the yard. He's gonna kill. He's gonna kill whatever's around there.
Can you please
Yes,
acknowledge what
pussy,
she said?
Pussy, yes.
You do say that a lot.
All you talk about is, Brandon Walker. That's all he talks about. How much pussy?
Be Walkley fucking.
Will you do me a favor and shout out to
They
my
planted the flag on Florida State logo.
Jacksonville State did?
Hell yeah!
I'm shocked they even have a
big
flag.
Petty!
Baker Mayfield.
Jacksonville State has a flag?
They're doing the Baker Mayfield.
Can I be honest? That's a cock move right there.
A cock?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I see what you did there.
Oh,
They're the Gamecocks.
I know now.
That's awesome. See, like I get people like I get a Baker's a lot, but like that kind
No,
of.
I love
attitude,
Baker.
you
I
need
love
to.
people that hate.
I want to plant. Like, let
What's
me see the plant the flag.
Can we put Michigan on now?
It's over.
It's over.
been
31-10.
Oh,
Michigan
I didn't
won.
know it was over.
We both
Can we?
lost about Washington.
Ooh, I hit my Michigan parlay though.
Okay, so listen. 2-0 teams. Who's real?
Alabama.
Okay, no. You don't get to play anymore. I have to say the name. Obviously, Alabama's real.
Georgia.
Stop.
Okay.
How real is Iowa?
Real.
Real.
Real,
Top 10.
real as in what?
Wait,
What are we? What are we? Yeah.
Are
What
they a
are?
playoff contender? No.
No. No.
I think do they hit Ohio?
But then
State this year?
again, okay, say they're not a playoff contender. But if they have the best defense in the Big Ten and they get to Indianapolis and they play an Ohio State team that has one of the shittiest defenses we've seen,
Okay.
and I got to get 3 touchdowns from Iowa to
Yeah,
win, they could probably do that.
They don't hit Iowa in the regular season.
No, Ohio State doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's
I'm
the.
talking about in
and
Indianapolis.
but this is
fine.
going back to. And listen, I think Iowa's for real, but Ohio State's defense is their problem, and I'm not saying C.J. Stroud is perfect, but he had 500 fucking yards today.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying Iowa's defense looks elite.
Yeah, okay,
So
all right.
they're going
But
to
I-
chew up a freshman quarterback and spit him out.
I feel like can there be a middle ground? Real, not real. What's the middle one?
Kind of real.
Okay, kind of real.
Who do you have more faith in? Iowa's defense or Ohio State's offense?
Ohio State's offense.
I think maybe Iowa's defense.
Really?
Okay.
Is as of right now.
Now, wait a minute. I realize his numbers were pretty. Ohio State scored 28 points today. That's not great.
No, it's not.
They scored 28 points today.
No, I know. I mean, it is, but their numbers are pretty. You're right. I mean, C.J. Stroud,
numbers are
484
pretty.
with
No, I
three
don't
receivers
trust-
over 100. But
I watch their offense and I admire it, but I don't know that I trust it. It's still a freshman quarterback,
yeah, okay.
And it's not like those.
I'm gonna say Iowa is kind of real. If we're gonna do middle ground,
Yeah, they're probably real.
if I had to
top
pick
10.
between real and not real, I would say real.
Also, Stanford is beating USC right now.
Jesus. 2-0 Michigan.
Chaos.
No.
No,
they're
absolutely not.
ranked
Real
team.
what?
Ranked team, not top 10.
By the way, Washington is trash. I just
Yeah,
completely
you
whipped
took
on them twice.
Yeah, I mean, but you should have known going into today they were trash.
I just didn't think. I don't really respect Michigan. I mean, Michigan's just okay to me. So I thought Washington could bounce back.
Listen, I put them in my top 10 and they won, so I'm gonna stick with them.
You don't really think they're a top 10 team, though.
My top 10 board said it.
Yeah, but we got in this fight there. You don't. Really
In
think
my top 10 board said it. Why would I put it there if I didn't believe it?
just to play the crowd.
No, I mean, you put La Tech in your top 10.
Obviously,
Do you believe it?
of course.
Okay.
That's what
So
my
I'm-
top 10 board said it.
Wait. Did you say he put Vodtech in his top 10?
La
No,
Tech.
La Tech.
Oh, okay, fair.
Not Vatek.
I was about to be like,
La Tech.
whoa
La Tech.
there, sir.
I'm sorry, La Tech almost beat 2-0 Mississippi State,
Mm-hmm.
who hammered NC State today.
Don't worry. I lost my parlay.
I mean, I'm just saying, if it's on my board, I believe it.
What's the Stanford USC score?
14-7, right?
Yeah, 3:20 left in the second.
Stanford's up on USC. Jack.
Shout out Alec Gleason. Thank you for the shirts.
I
And
mean,
BYU, oh my God, BYU's up 16-7 on Utah. End of this second.
I think
These
it's just
late
time,
games
I
are
think it's just
just-
time that I just look everybody in the eye and say, as far as these early season games, I just have no idea what's going to happen in college football.
you know what?
Awesome,
And Arizona State's only up 4 on UNLV, who
Yeah.
Can
UNLV
I-
stinks.
Can I make
Well, I guess
an
we
announcement?
What?
Alabama's the best team in the country.
Well,
Maybe. We'll see.
See,
Undetermined.
I mean,
We'll see.
who would you like? I mean,
As
Georgia.
of right now, you'd say Alabama, but it's either Alabama or Georgia. But
I mean, would you be shocked if Oregon beat them?
I'm saying right now, and I know this whole.
Okay, yeah, sure.
There's
Yep.
not enough. There's
No,
not
I
enough
would actually say
crossover to
Georgia. I mean,
compare.
Georgia beat a good Group of 5 team, one of the, like who's going to compete. I know it's Conference USA. 56-7
with a backup quarterback.
with a backup quarterback. So I think you could say Georgia, but I mean, it's not like you're right.
That's all. I mean, that's the only thing I know for sure that I think, and that I think Oklahoma.
I feel bad for Florida State fans. Man.
Also, can I just say, I think we will look back on week 1, Oklahoma-Tulane, as the biggest, well, that wasn't real game of
Well,
the
you
season.
remember Michigan Army a few years ago?
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, granted, I'm not going to put Michigan up there with like the likes of Oklahoma because they haven't been there. But like, there's a game every year. They're like, oh my God, like this is it, and then it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There was a hurricane, you know,
A hurricane?
a hurricane.
Yeah,
Ida.
but it didn't affect Oklahoma.
Well, no, but it
affect
did. But
Tulane.
no, but it did change a lot of shit. I mean,
Yeah,
that
true.
stadium was
Yeah, it
like.
did force Oklahoma to play at home.
Yeah.
But did we
Against
ever,
a team living out of a bus.
Did we ever get an answer of why that stadium was only half full for
Because
that?
I think they didn't. I think they
They didn't allow it.
They didn't allow it. I think
Okay.
it was like a gentleman's agreement. Which,
Okay.
by the way, we saw the alliance. The alliance really worked out. I mean, we saw the Pac-12, Big Ten.
Fucking alliance.
Yeah, the Rutgers-Syracuse game that was like 0-0.
Oh,
in
my.
the
Oh
third.
man.
2-0 teams, that are, whether they're real or not.
Rutgers, no idea.
Yeah, no. I thought they were gonna whoop
Kentucky,
Syracuse.
Auburn in the SEC.
Auburn, no. Kentucky, TBD.
I think Kentucky's pretty good, although I didn't love what they
Would
did.
you
at the
say
end.
they're top 10 though?
No.
Ole Miss?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Brandon.
I mean, I would just say Kentucky and Ole Miss are in the same class.
I'd say they're two
I would trust Matt Corral
decent programs looking.
Over-
See, that's the one I don't trust.
over
Right.
Will Levis.
Because Matt Corral it has some of the best stats in the country, and he's a very good quarterback when it's going right, but he can also show up and throw 6
He threw
interceptions.
against
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Threw 6 against Arkansas, 5 against Auburn.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got that in him. I admire him. I don't know if I trust him.
That's fair.
All right.
Oh, you admire an Ole Miss quarterback?
I mean, he's an elite quarterback. He's fantastic.
How's
Great player.
how's your gambling day today? I got my ass kicked. I'll say it.
I was
if
still
Memphis had
positive.
covered, I would have been 6-3 in my public
Fucking
picks. I
Memphis.
ended up going 5-4 in my public picks, which is a bad
Wait.
day for me.
We were the same.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I had a lot of private picks that
Oh
Brandon's
shit!
bonus here.
I just tell everybody right now that at Barstool we have a lot of people behind the scenes, okay? And we have people behind the scenes that go above and beyond sometimes. And I'm looking at a man who just took a commercial flight from
Didn't get to
from
ride the
Ann Arbor,
G4.
Michigan, and I left my phone in Michigan, and this man has delivered my phone.
And the charger.
He has
And
delivered my
Katie's
phone
charger.
and
Lightning
Katie's charger.
Oh.
He has come here at midnight after getting off a plane. Where'd you land? LaGuardia? Yeah. And you live in Brooklyn.
Okay, can we go home now?
No, we still got to do shit lists. We got to still do one.
Wait, like, have we talked about Michigan?
I said they're
Briefly.
real.
They're not real. Well, what makes you think they're real?
Because I liked Ann Arbor today.
It's good. It's fine that they went 2-0, but I mean,
Can we?
Washington's one of the biggest embarrassments in
Well,
college
I
football
mean,
right
they
now.
lost to Montana last week.
I thought they'd bounce back. I thought they'd be pissed, but no.
I'll
there's
give you my
there's
shit
just
list right
nothing
now.
there. Go ahead.
Fucking Texas. I've already said it enough.
Wait, if
My shit list. And again, it's
You're going out of order.
I don't care. I don't understand why. If I bet on them, they lose. If I bet against them, they win. How do they fuck me so hard every
it's
time?
the rivalry.
That's your take. You put them on shit list because you made the wrong
My
bet?
money, yes.
You made the wrong bet.
I've been
We
doing
all
this for years.
told you not to bet on Texas.
I agree with you, but every single year, like I bet on against them last week. I was
You can't
embarrassed,
just use the shit list to get a gambling grudge out.
but that's where the way that was in my heart. That's what came out first.
All right, Kate,
That was my grudge.
Kayce, who won the week? Who won the weekend?
Who won the weekend? The Pac-12.
Not just Oregon?
No, the Pac-12 as a whole. I mean, obviously Oregon's at the forefront, but I think that you mentioned it earlier in this episode. Like, it would be hard to make the argument that they're not the second best conference in the country right now.
Katie, who won the weekend?
I'm gonna go a little bit chalk pick, but I think probably Michigan fans. We're just having a live show, the hype, the excitement, having everyone
On
back.
the day that Ohio State lost.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's Ohio State lost, and I was a kid on Christmas. It's just so cool to be. This is my first time traveling.
Now, did you buy that jersey just for today?
Oh hell yeah! I'm so
It's a Tom Brady jersey. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's
in
an
my life.
actual jersey. It's Tom Brady. If you're looking on YouTube,
Oh, speaking of,
but why not?
What?
are you talking shit to me on Twitter?
Oh, I'll tell you right now. The Tom Brady stand, Kayce, is far and away the worst Kayce.
If you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me
Far
at
and
my
away
best.
the
Wait,
worst case.
hold on. Is it Tom Brady stan or is it MGK stan?
I don't cross paths with MGK.
I'm getting
MJK
death eyes
stand.
right now.
I don't cross paths with that one.
What's wrong with me being a Tom Brady stan?
I just like the other day I said, is Dak a top whatever quarterback in the NFL? A question about Dak, who was excellent, and you said he's a top not Tom Brady quarterback.
I was drunk. I'm sorry.
Jack, who won the weekend?
I was gonna say Georgia, just kind of. I know it's a off the beaten path pick, but really, really impressive. I mean, I said it before. I'll say it again. UAB is a good team, and they took it to them like you're supposed to take it to a Conference USA team. And their defense looked great, offense looked great, even without JT Daniels. So we're gonna see with them, and then, so yeah, Georgia's my winner of the weekend.
Brandon, who won the week?
So I think it's down to two teams. Oregon clearly had the biggest win, and Joe Moorhead I think was fantastic. I'm going to give it to another team, though, just because I anticipated one of y'all saying Oregon, so I wouldn't have to. But I'm going to say the Iowa Hawkeyes, because not only did the Iowa Hawkeyes end the dream for a top 10 team, not only did they beat a top 17 team for the second time to start the season, not only did they bolster themselves and put themselves probably in the top 10, they got to do it at the expense of their most hated rival. Mm-hmm. They got to
In week 2.
They got to just go ahead and end the hopes and dreams of Iowa State and boost their own hopes and dreams. Like, they got a double whammy today of awesomeness, and I didn't think they could do it. I thought Iowa State would win. I thought Iowa State was better. They're not.
Awesomeness.
Everything Iowa State has built is still in the shadow of Iowa. They still can't cross that bridge.
No, and I mean we talked about it on the bus with Chris, Michigan fan Chris, and obviously Dave was in there talking about wanting Matt Campbell as their next head coach. Like, I first of all, I don't know why Matt Campbell would do that. Actually, after today, maybe, but like I don't understand this clamoring from Michigan that they want Matt Campbell.
Well, no, he has built a
of
great
course,
program
of
at
course.
Iowa State.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, then you look at a game like today and you're realizing, like, they're not near as competitive outside of the Big 12 than you would think they should be.
All right, who lost the weekend?
Ohio State. Easy.
Come back to me. I'm thinking.
Jack?
The cat.
I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, the Ohio State defensive coordinator, like
Perry.
Watson.
Something Perry. Perry something.
Coach Perry.
No,
Hold on. I have my
Coach
sheet.
Perry. I can't even think right
it's
now.
Perry. It's his first name, though. Ohio State defensive
Oh, I
coordinator.
have Kerry Coombs.
Carrie, not Perry.
Carrie.
Carrie Combs.
Kerry
yes.
Coombs.
Kerry Coombs. I mean, yikes. Just
Yuck.
they really got dominated by it was Joe, and probably, I mean, now I'm looking at it, maybe Joe Moorhead and Oregon made a conscious decision in that Fresno State game to play it a little safer. But I mean, that was a close game. So, and I assume they assumed that would be a close game. But Kerry, like, you have all the talent in the world on that defense, and I don't know. And this is what the second straight, or when was the Rondell? That was 2019. Rondell Moore when the
I think that was 18 or maybe 17.
Yeah.
That was 18.
It's sometimes, I don't know, it sometimes feels that these Ohio State defenses sometimes just get exposed out of nowhere, even though they have all this talent, and it's like maddening.
It is just shocking to me when a top 5 recruiter is bad on either side of the ball. But defensively, there's 4 and 5 stars all over the field. They get everybody they want. Whoever Ohio State wants to play defense for Ohio State plays defense for Ohio State.
It's all just about getting the guys to be good. You can talk the talk in the house.
Like LSU's got a soft defense right now, despite the fact that 5 stars are everywhere. Oklahoma's got a bad defense, despite the fact they got 5 stars everywhere. And now Ohio State has fallen into that trap as well.
You can't develop players.
It's just shocking to me. And who lost the weekend? Brandon? It simply just goes along with who won the weekend. It's that's a good one. You can say it. Mine's Iowa State. Iowa State, top 10 coming of the year, and just gone, just like that. And you say Texas, Katie.
Yeah, probably to Steve Sarkisian. And your quote, the cheese is sliding off the cracker.
Mm-hmm.
Just the shine is
welcome to the SEC,
disappear.
bitch.
That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Shit list, Kayce Smith.
I already said mine, Texas. Welcome to the SEC, bitches.
Shit list, Katie Stats.
Myself for getting upset about Iowa State
that's
under.
a good one.
Shit list, Jack Mack.
Man, I really don't have one. I guess I'm going to put myself on it.
What?
He has been tough today.
Should we put Randy Edsall on it?
Yeah. Well,
UConn's 0-3, huh?
Yeah, UConn
Dead.
stung today.
At least you lost to a kind of okay program today.
Yeah, I don't have a shit list outside of my gambling today.
Mine was so bad too, Jack.
My
So
shit
that
list.
that will be my shit list.
Just got changed in the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
It's Mike Norvell. It's whatever they're doing at Florida State. You
Thinking
had
on the fly.
a potentially a program-changing moment, at least in the macro. You had a chance to really turn the corner. Last week, you put your program on display. You had a primetime spot, and everything was good. Full crowd, full everything. And to follow up on that, you come home and lose to an FCS team, and not even to Jacksonville State. Like, you can't do that. No matter what you think, how good you think Florida State is, they can't ever lose to Jacksonville State.
Never.
You just can't.
Never.
You can never lose to Jacksonville State.
Especially after the primetime game.
That's the team you lose to when it's time to fire the coach. That's not the team you lose to when it's time for the coach to prove that he's building a program. To me, everything positive that happened in Notre Dame, everything that Florida State fans thought might have been going right is done. It's finished because now you're starting over from scratch. That's embarrassing and garbage.
There's a clip on our Twitter because when you're listening to this, the Jacksonville State players did the Baker Mayfield, planted the flag in the middle of Florida State's.
He went to pee. He didn't know.
Okay.
Oh, fair.
You didn't want to send that to me?
No, she talked about it already.
We were still watching it live.
I forgot you weren't here yet.
It was like, oh, look, they're planting the flag.
Planting the flag was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
And this one's actually cool because Florida State is actual grass, unlike Ohio State, which is turf. You can't really plant it into the turf.
I love that petty shit.
And before we end, I just want to give, you guys are probably used to this, but I found myself saying this several times to Roughnecks when I met them this weekend. Like, we sit here in a room and do a podcast. We talk and we just assume there's people listening. Like, obviously we have numbers and whatnot, but then to actually meet people who listen to you, who watch the YouTube, who like clearly pay attention. Like, for me, I'm very new to this, so I just sit there like dumbfounded.
It is a cool feeling.
It's just like, you listen to what I say.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We're lucky. We're very lucky.
It's
Thanks
insane.
to everybody. People were wearing Unnecessary Roughness merch today.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go buy our new merch. Right?
All right.
They're just awesome.
Love you all.
Love you all.
That's Unnecessary Roughness.
I was hanging with the fellas.
That's all you need.